Hey guys, Rob from Georgia, aka VHS82 apostrophe here with you, and joining me not too far from the great land of Canada, Glenn, aka BDG Reviews, along with Will and the Don. They are the hosts of the one and only Bay of Blood podcast, and as well, Body Bags is in the house. We're fresh off our 13th Black and White Nights commentaries, rolling on into episode 14 as we take a look at George A. Romero's Land of the Dead from 2005. So grab your snacks, wipe the color off your freaking TV sets, and settle back for what ought to be one hell of an entertaining evening as we descend into the place where the dead have inherited the earth. What's up, man?
Not much, man. Not much.
Well, we're about to roll a little bit of black and white Land of the Dead.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Because, let's be honest. When most people think of Romero's movies, they think of night, dawn, and day, and that's kind of pretty much it. People tend to forget that land exists.
Yeah, that is true. I think we were talking earlier, and it is weird to think that you get one in the '60s, one in the '70s, one in the '80s, then we skip the '90s.
Yeah.
And we have our post 9/11 dead film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is a commentary running through this, as I'm sure we'll pick up on.
Oh, yeah.
And two, I was reminded this film actually does start off in black and white anyways. Some of the initial scenes at the beginning aren't in black and white. And
I think they are, aren't they? Yeah.
And then it transitions into color, but we'll be maintaining our transition with black and white through.
Oh, yeah.
The whole film. So this is, it is sort of forgotten. I mean, when anytime anyone ever speaks of Romero, it's always, night, dawn, day. Rarely ever do we hear land.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just I think when you look at night, dawn, and day, they're all kind of, you're focused on this small group of people. Where with land, you're focused on like a literal community, of all sorts of people.
Well, it's funny. I was thinking about this earlier. It's sort of like when you look at day and then you look at land. It's almost like the story is almost somewhat inverted in the sense that with day, they wanted such a huge scope, but had to settle on something much smaller.
Yeah.
And yet with land, with the studio, they had the money and the scope could be much larger. But what we end up with, I don't know. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I know stories abound on how Romero got burned and wouldn't didn't want to go back to the studio system again.
Yep.
So this is the biggest budget of all the Dead movies for sure.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 15 and 19 mil.
Something like that, yeah.
And I think it made back like 46.
Yeah.
So it was a success. I mean,
definitely, yeah.
It's too bad that he did not. Well, it's too bad that whatever happened. And
yeah.
He felt like he just couldn't, go back. And maybe it's. I don't know. It's a shame. It's. I've been thinking about this movie, knowing we were going to do this, and I think I was pretty hyped when the news first broke and when they first released the teaser poster.
Oh, I love the teaser poster. Yeah.
And in fact, the DVD, American release DVD is so horrific. I had to pick up a UK copy because they went with the teaser poster for their artwork, which is awesome. So there you go. Reason to be region free, you can pick something up just for the stinking artwork. I I think I picked up H2 from Germany just for the artwork because it was so cool.
Yeah.
Um, Although it was cut bad in Germany, which shot I couldn't believe that when I got it,
Yeah.
um, but it looks good. I mean, the artwork looks good, so and there's some surprises in this for sure. I was
Oh yeah.
doing a little reading and some cameo appearances. We'll point out along the way, and
Hmm.
um, there's one surprise in there too that I came across earlier today that I don't know if you know about, but we'll pull that when we cross. There's definitely some notable ones for sure.
Cool.
But there's one in there that's a surprise that I didn't even realize until today. I was like, "What? Oh, that's
Nice.
too freaking cool." I'll give you a hint.
Hmm.
George Lucas did it in his Star Wars, his prequels.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. Wait till we get to that scene.
Yeah.
Um, it's pretty cool. But yeah, so post 9/11, there is definitely a commentary. I'm not sure. It's pointed a little bit, but not maybe near as much as, not near as powerfully, I think, displayed as Dawn with its
Yeah.
anti-consumerism and
Yeah.
with this, I think George was wanting to, wanted us to think about a lot of things post 9/11 world, and
Hmm.
who knows, maybe this is '05, so it's what 220, and got a lot of crazy stuff happening right now in our world.
Yeah.
So I wonder how relevant we'll see this film um, today,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially in black and white.
Oh yeah.
Um, so, did you get to see this theatrically?
I saw this theatrically. Yeah. I actually prefer it on Blu-ray because it's the unrated cut. Um, it was decent in the theater. It was a reason to see a zombie movie in the theater, and that was enough for me. And it was kind of cool because also this was filmed up in Canada.
Right.
It's the first of the Living Dead movies not shot in where was it? They shot them normally.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yeah, that wasn't shot like around Pittsburgh. So it's kind of cool, and I recognize a few things when I'm watching it.
Well,
So
good.
that's kind of cool.
You're gonna have to point that out.
Yeah,
Um, but which is weird because the city of focus is supposed to be Pittsburgh,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
a lot of CGI employed here too.
yeah. Interesting thing about this movie, though, this is the movie that made George Romero actually stop living in the States.
Really?
Yeah, when he filmed it up in Canada, had a great time, so he decided to live up here.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know like what the whole reason was, but he was just kind of like, I like it there, I'm gonna go back there. So he did. Yeah. Um, I think he had places in both America and Canada that he alternated between, but he spent a good amount of time up here, so that's kind of cool.
Interesting. I'm stretching my mind back. For whatever reason, I don't know if I saw this in the theater. I don't think I did for whatever reason. I'm trying to think of what would have kept me from, because I remember the poster issue. I remember
Hmm.
thinking to myself, "Holy crap! Romero's gone back to he's gone big studio. This is going to be epic. This is going to be huge." And then, but I don't have. It seems like maybe something happened that kept me, but um, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people see just the first three. I really do my best to try to just. I see the four, and then
Hmm.
for me, there's the big drop off in the films. Maybe it's just because we'll talk it, I'm sure, throughout the film, but I think there's probably more reasons to, um, love on this film rather than just take the easy way out and just hate on everything that you hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of things in here to like, especially the opening production logo.
Oh, I love that.
We
Old
don't have
school
enough.
Universal
Ah,
logo.
we don't have enough of this. This stuff. And I think if I remember right, Carpenter got robbed on the thing. He wanted to go old school, and they wouldn't let him.
Yeah. I think he actually wanted the RKO logo, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I get it because, RKO is like a different company than Universal, but you could have, I don't know, done something, like an RKO style Universal logo. But then again, what's his name? Quentin Tarantino got the Shaw Brothers logo for Kill Bill, didn't he?
Now, see, yeah, you would pick up on that a little bit more quicker than I would.
Mm.
When I did first see this, and I saw the initial production logo come up, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, I'm like, okay, I'm here, I'm in. The rest of the time, I'm good.
Mhm.
See something like this, I wish more movies did this. Some of those old logos, from back in the day were they were good stuff. Boy, they were
Oh
good.
yeah, classy looking and just awesome.
Well, you ready?
Yep. Okay, so you're on the UK Blu-ray DVD. I'm on uh, the, the Blu-ray from Universal. We're at 0, so let's get it started. Go. 3, 2, 1, go. And there we go. Old school Universal logo.
That is beautiful. That is so freaking beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome. Man, look at that.
Ah, that might be the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And that's not to, that's not to be the rest of it, but
No, but it's just so awesome.
it's so awesome.
You know.
Anyone who doesn't appreciate that few seconds there, well,
Yeah. Yeah, you might need to get your head examined.
So right off the bat here is we're coming through the opening credits. There's there's this little montage uh, of sort of somewhat subtle reminders of what has been happening, not just since day, but over the course of this whole epidemic thing.
Yeah.
Uh, I know Romero wanted, look at that, Asia Argento.
Hmm.
Um, he wanted to do a montage from his first three movies,
Yeah.
and something complicated. I can't remember exactly what he said that complicated it, but it's too bad because I think if we would have gotten scenes lifted right from those three movies, it would have been epic.
Yeah. I'm sure it's something like some rights thing, like I don't know.
Which is weird because I thought he owned the first three.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it was something like Universal or like no, because Universal is. I've never been a company to just let a director do what they want. They'll always kind of want to have their say in everything, and I get it. You're putting a lot of money into something, you want to have a say, but maybe you should just let 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 your director do his work.
Well, we should be in color mode now, but we are still black and white. It's looking good.
Oh yeah, I love how it opens up on a sign that just says "Eats."
I always got a kick out of that. Uh,
And you know that he was thinking about, what, let's have a sign that says "Eats."
do you also notice in the credit listing, Burger and Nicotero?
Oh yeah.
This is a partial K and B effort. There's a lot of people at K and B employed for this, but I don't think it is a K and B because Burger's name's not credited anywhere.
Yeah. That zombie we just passed was a creepy one, that like animatronic one.
Yeah,
really
that's a nice. I
skinny.
think Nicotero built that.
I think so. I just love this. There's, the band.
Oh, this looks freaking outstanding.
It really does. It
Look at that
really
right there.
does.
That's it.
Yeah, I just love that, he comes out when he hears the guy's just like, there's no car here.
Eugene Clark.
Oh yeah.
You got it. Somewhere it was said, I think it was on Romero's commentary on the film, he made the point to mention that apparently he wanted Eugene Clark in the lead role on this film, but the studio denied him, and so he made him his lead zombie.
I believe that. I love that. It's
That
like
was
he's
just a
talking to
creepy,
them.
creepy shot right here.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's a little bit of nasty.
oh yeah.
So overall, what you think about the casting in this film? You know,
For the most, I think it's a really solid cast. I mean, that guy.
him,
I can't.
Simon Baker.
Uh, the main guy.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know him from like a TV show. I can't remember what it was, but you know, my one complaint about this is everyone. It's gonna sound weird, but looks too like clean. Like no one looks to be, except for that one guy. No one looks to be really injured or anything. You know, I don't know. I would have just thought, people who go out like getting supplies and everything, it'd be a bit more, grizzled and
wonder if it's the difference between Romero casting his first three films and then having a big studio cast it for him.
yeah, probably.
Because there is a major shift in terms of just how the cast comes across in this film versus the first three films.
Yeah, yeah. This is a thing I've always liked the idea of using like fireworks or whatever to distract zombies. And it's something I always thought, until this, you never really saw it, but it would make sense. If you're in like a zombie apocalypse, send something to get them all to go over in one direction while you're working in the other one. It would make sense. You gotta love though that it was George Romero that brought it in. Hmm.
Now, you said earlier, a lot of this is filmed in Toronto,
Yeah,
and from what I know, it was really, really cold. When they filmed.
I definitely believe it. Because I know when it was filmed in the fall, if I remember right. I seem to remember hearing about it that it was being filmed. I remember thinking, like, is that going to play a part in the story? You know, like I've always thought it'd be interesting to see a zombie movie set in the winter,
Yeah.
where zombies are literally frozen. I mean, it was covered slightly in like a Walking Dead episode, but
Well, that's why I like the last framing shot on Bone Sickness because it's winter
mhm.
and through the haze of the snow you see a walking zombie,
Yep,
and I always thought, man, that is such cool imagery. Of.
yeah. Yeah, I just think this is such a good idea. The idea of like distracting zombies.
And I love how Big Daddy is just like not with it.
Yeah,
Like,
he's the one. He's like, wait a minute, something's up here.
oh, it's weird. It's like this is the first film that works to almost create a level of empathy with the zombies.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been obviously hinted at in other movies and everything, like with Bub and everything. But this is the first one that really, you know, they're like there's emotion there. He's genuinely pissed off that
Yeah.
you know they're shooting other people.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's no shortage of gore in this one.
That's true.
But it's funny. I heard that when they took it to the MPA, all they really got asked to do was shorten a few scenes. Or here, they didn't get asked to. Oh, okay. See the shot with the moon?
Yeah.
They literally caught that with their own cameras and eclipse happening.
Oh, that's nice.
Other shots of the moon in the movie I know are CGI, but that was a real shot that they got. How freaking lucky do you have to be, boy?
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure most of the shots from Inside Dead Reckoning are on a set.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it would make sense. And that's another thing, I always liked in this movie. The fact that they have essentially like, an armored like battle truck. Because I mean, that's something you would want to do in a zombie apocalypse, wouldn't you? You'd want to make something like that.
Well, you would almost be forced to.
Oh yeah. I think what makes this unique is usually zombie films and zombie shows and everything show the beginning of an outbreak. Where it's been going on for years. So it's something a bit different.
I wonder if we'll ever get that prequel that apparently is it Romero's son that wrote a treatment.
I think so, yeah. Wasn't it based on like something George had written or something?
I think something. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
This this right here. This is CGI. Looks better in black and white though.
Always the case.
Yeah, we have a running tab of items that look better in black and white. Rain looks better in black and white.
CG always looks better in black and white.
subtle foreshadowing right here.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Oh, that is just to think that all it takes is just one.
Yeah.
You're going to be turning.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the sort of thing that was always kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like I don't want to say downplayed, but it's never really brought up properly in like the later, Romero Dead films. But the idea that like I think like everybody that dies is gonna come back to life as a zombie, and I wish that was something that was played up more. They go more with the like you get bit, you're gonna turn into one of them.
Yeah, I like this. This poor kid, man. He offs himself.
Yeah,
But I like the snap, just this like the snapshot judgment of just doing it
yeah,
versus sitting there crying about it for not knowing what to do.
yeah. Well, I'm guessing probably at this point, they've been dealing with this for so many years. They know what they're getting into if they get bit, right? So I love that he's got a gun. A zombie with a machine gun.
There's a lot of talk about are we seeing a slow evolution of what zombies can can do from film to film to film. Um,
Mm,
I don't, I've heard George talk about it a little bit, and I don't know. I don't think there was a lot of thought put into that to be that direct. But I mean, you go back to the original film, and I mean, you got the one zombie using a rock to try to smash a window to get at the girl.
yeah,
Um, you know, so it's like, I mean, you see flashes of. I mean, I think it's actually really cool to think that it's like, well, oh, look at that shot of the city.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's the one thing too. The Fiddler's Green building is totally CGI.
Ah, yeah.
So anytime we get a camera on Fiddler's Green, it's not really there. Um, but just the idea. I mean, if theoretically this could be, and you could literally uh, turn into a zombie, like, I mean, what would you remember? Would you remember anything?
Yeah,
How would that evolve over time? Would it evolve over a time? You know,
yeah. I always thought it'd be kind of neat. I mean, I think it's been done in some things, but like to have someone get bit and turn very slowly, so much so that they're dead, but they would still be talking to people and everything. I think that would be kind of neat.
has
I
anyone
mean,
has anyone messed with that?
there's been a few things like there was what was that one that I don't know like love turned them back into people or something. I don't know, some rom-com zombie movie. I don't know. It was some
It's
dumb one.
weird thinking about just that line of thought here when I revisited Near Dark. Um,
Hmm.
just the idea that blood transfusions could
Yeah,
turn a vampire, and it just kind of struck me how easy all that seemed to come off. Where most movies, once you're a vampire, there's no coming back. I mean, it is what it is. But in that movie, how they approached it, well,
yeah,
with just a simple blood transfusion, you could be brought back,
yeah.
and that I thought that was interesting.
Mm,
Always stretching the boundaries of Like Romero said on this, I think he said on his commentary on this film that um, the idea, could animals be zombified?
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
up till now hadn't really dealt with it, but for this film wanted to on a small scale, but it just didn't seem practical. Um,
yeah.
and I don't think, did he ever deal with it in Diary or Survival?
In Survival, it was like a zombie horse, if I remember right.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I think that was kind of it. And it almost seemed like it was more like like that was like that wasn't the norm, that animals would turn into zombies. It seemed like it was like a one-off type thing that happened. That's one thing I always liked about the Dawn of the Dead remake, where they're like the dogs walking around outside and the zombies just don't care. They're like,
Yeah.
that's not food.
This is interesting. I never really, I don't know. Obviously, there's a class structure thing going on here.
Yeah.
Haves, have-nots, those who have built security around themselves can live in luxury. Those outside of that, um,
This place right here, I recognize this place where he had kind of like buildings like inside. That's actually a place downtown Toronto.
really,
Yeah, they essentially they were like historic buildings, and instead of just like fixing them, essentially they took the entire street and built a roof on it.
interesting. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what? I mean, I would be shocked. I don't have like a working memory right now, but I would be absolutely shocked if I had not walked in there as a little kid, because we had been up to Toronto a few times,
you
um,
probably have, yeah.
quite often. I mean, just as a touristy thing, I'm sure we probably did. But
Hmm.
oh, right there, girl on the left, George
Yeah.
A. Romero's daughter.
Oh, nice.
You know, she just happened to be there visiting, I think, and she was on set, and I can't remember if it was him or her, but the idea came out.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Yeah, I'd love to." So spent a day, taught her how to shoot an M16, and yeah, yeah. I think he was a little surprised at how much she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So this guy on the right here, this is the guy that wants to foment revolution, take down Fiddler's greed.
Yeah.
Our hero just wants to get out of there.
Yep.
And who's the this guy? Is it Colo? Cholo.
Uh, Cholo, yeah.
Cholo. He thinks he's buying himself. He thinks he's working his way into.
Yeah, and definitely not.
See, I like this. I like this scene right here because it just goes to show that even being inside all of this security, they're not immune.
Hmm.
And this guy, this poor guy, for whatever reason, decides to take his life, and now he's a candidate to be a zombie.
Yep.
And that's weird how it's not just being bit by a zombie, but anyone who just dies turns.
Yeah, it's something that I wish they'd play up more with.
Oh boy. But he doesn't kill this guy.
Yep.
It's only a matter of time before he turns. So you just assume this security guy is gonna.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those where they even though the casting is really so different in this film, they do grow on you a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially this guy, his Riley's little protector there.
Yeah.
There's some cameos. You see them?
Uh.
Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright.
Oh
Shaun of the
yeah.
Dead. Yeah, Romero's a pretty big fan of Shaun.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I mean,
This is pretty messed up.
yeah.
You're just gonna throw a chick in there for amusement.
Yeah.
I mean, did they say what she did to get herself in that situation?
I don't think so. No.
Dario Argento's daughter.
Yep.
I think Romero said he knew her, when she was just a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the discussions that Romero and Argento had when they would just be with each other? Man,
Yeah.
just talking about filmmaking and horror and
Mhm.
what they'd love to do, what they do they couldn't do.
Yeah, for sure. Man, to have been a fly on the wall in that would have been, you know, damn.
Pretty sure it wasn't. Didn't Argento fly him to his place in Italy to hash out the Dawn script?
I think so. Yeah.
So he spent some time there. So that's when he would have met his daughter.
Yeah.
Ooh, some more nice CGI blood shots.
Yeah.
All this guy's worried about is his suit. Ruin my friggin' suit. This tough voice cracks me up. I love this guy, man. I love this. You ain't getting away. You gotta love it. Boom. She's stunning, man.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely stunning.
Hell, that someone shot the little fat man.
So how's the black and white working?
It's working good. I mean, it feels like, how can I put it? It's almost like I don't know. I don't know how to put it. Like a natural extension of night. Hmm.
Yeah, I think it. Feels closer to the original three seen like this.
Yeah.
Doesn't doesn't feel quite as distant.
Yeah. True.
I think the casting has a lot to do with it. I think if Romero could have casted this movie the way he wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have made a big difference.
I like this. I like this right here.
Yeah.
Use the cleaver. Do what you always did.
Yeah. Hmm. So what I'm wondering is like, do you reckon they're all getting smarter or just a few? Like, is there something special about him
I think.
that makes him?
I think. I think what's happening here is how is it Bub?
Yeah.
How he was learning to imitate uh, and copy the doctor's commands to do certain things.
Yeah.
I think what's happening is we're seeing an extension of that idea, but when he's kind of in the doctor role, and the other zombies are starting to imitate him.
Hmm.
So it's just this sort of this herd mentality is forming where they're starting to really,
Yeah.
do things that benefit, the group, which is kind of
Mhm.
weird to think that zombies would be doing that.
Yeah.
But I mean, this sort of, this is sort of foreshadowing really the last final scene of the movie
Hmm.
because we'll see zombies in a way we've never really seen them, at least in George Romero's world.
Yeah.
Like we'll see it at the very end.
Very true.
And I don't know if that thought, I'm not as familiar with Diary or Survival, but is that thought, like what we'll see in the very closing seconds of this film? will that be played on at all?
Well, Diary and Survival seem to be more, the beginning of the outbreak.
Uh,
Yeah, so it's a bit more like almost like your typical zombie flick, It's kind of neat, but I don't know.
yeah, I think I kind of figured Diary was that way, but I wasn't sure about Survival.
Yeah, Survival, you know, essentially it's like what happens on an island.
Uh,
That's pretty much it. Um, I don't know, I can't help but think they could have been better had they been given a decenter budget. Hmm.
so how do you think this film works on as being a post 9/11 film? I mean, this is '05. It's only a few years removed. We talked at some length with not too long ago with War of the Worlds, the
Hmm.
remake being post 9/11,
Yeah.
how 9/11 influenced that film. How much do you think 9/11 influenced Romero's thinking here?
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, you can. I'm trying to get my thoughts together for this. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really put it into words, but I see it, but I don't know how to enunciate it. I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to his commentary. He doesn't really get deep at all on just philosophically what he was. I mean, when you talk about Don, it's pretty simplistic. I mean, anti-consumerism and the mall and everything is, even though it's subtly done, it's plain as day.
Yeah.
And in this film, I think if he did have a political, and he does, but I think he worked so hard to keep it subtle.
Mm,
It's not quite as evident to know exactly what his political position is. I mean, you know, if Fiddler's Green is a metaphor for the country, you know, there's class structure stuff going on. You can see, but how it relates in terms of uh, the rest of the world and maybe how the U.S. reacted in light of 9/11.
yeah.
Um, it's just it doesn't seem to be, I don't know, the thought process is near as cohesive in this movie as it might have been, say, in Dawn or even Day.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder how much of that was also, studios saying we don't want it to be too messagey.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing he didn't have to put up with in the first three films. You know,
Yep.
he could just sort of lay out what he wanted to lay out, and here not it's not as so I mean I guess I'm just sort of now I'm just thinking about it. At the beginning of the film, of course, we're introduced to them going off and on their raids, and in the process of their raids, I mean there's always collateral damage in terms of the zombies that they take down in the process of getting the needed resources.
Hmm.
And I guess I mean you could draw some sort of metaphor that how the U.S. is relating to the rest of the world, uh, if not done right, can come back and bite you.
Yeah, I
Like
can see
what
that.
will I just don't know if I just don't know if Romero was you know overly that,
Yeah.
or because you'd really have to work pretty hard to. Um, I mean, obviously Romero cares, uh, because we have 3 films before this that say he cares.
Yeah.
Just I don't know if it's not. I don't know. It's just not laid out well enough to,
Yeah.
like War of the Worlds, where it's so you could see 9/11 so impact
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Um, Here it's tough to. It's pretty cool that Dennis Hopper got in this movie. I like the story he tells here about being pulled out of the fire and
Yeah.
it's weird if you look at these security guards that he has employed there. You see that band around his arm?
Yeah.
It's like if you just like subtly glance away real quick, it's like it almost has a Nazi
Oh yeah. It's like
appearance.
I mean, those look like 100% like Nazi uniforms. Hmm.
I mean, that's an interesting statement just by itself.
Yeah.
It's that saying. See, Romero's one of those guys, man. It's like a handful of guys we can name right off right now that, of course, he's not with us anymore, but which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. Terrible loss. But he's one of those guys, man. Could you imagine just sitting down with George Romero for an afternoon and having lunch? I mean, it would just be amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
I was forget we do have a killer cows sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost kind of too bad we didn't get an extension on this film and just follow after Big Daddy and the group.
Yeah, I mean that would have been honestly more interesting than what they did. I mean, I would have liked to have seen end result of this, quote unquote, like evolution of zombies. Like, would they eventually have like learned how to talk again, and would there eventually have been like quote unquote like peace between zombies and humans? Makes you wonder.
Yeah, it's interesting because that's sort of the subtle implication, at least with Riley's character, is he's okay to let them go.
Yeah,
They're just, looking for a home like they were. I think it's how he puts it.
yeah,
Yeah, it does beg the question why George didn't continue that pathway.
all I can think it was purely a money thing. purely like no one would put up the money to make that movie. Who knows? Might be covered in that book that he wrote, though. World of the Dead or something, didn't they call it?
I can't remember. It'd be interesting to take a look at, though.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're going to release it. I think, was it his son that decided to finish it or something?
I think so.
Something like that, yeah.
Could be wrong, but I know his son is playing a pretty big part.
Yeah.
Now, this one guy comes across, isn't it? This guy right here is an Italian guy.
Mm-hmm.
His character actually could have been fun, man, in this movie had it been if we would have had him from the beginning.
Yeah.
Not sure about this big Samoan guy. That Italian guy could have been fun though. If he would have just been a regular character.
Yeah.
I mean, you could almost look at that Italian guy and almost think he could have been the Riley for the movie.
Easily, yeah.
He would have been your more natural Romero expression as far as casting.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be hard though, man. When you've got here are my five here are my five main characters, and the studio says, "Well, that's tough. Here's our five."
Yeah. Yeah.
But is that where I missed it? Is that where you said zombies that creep me out?
I think so. Let's see.
Zombies, man. They creep me out. It's like the only interesting line he gives in the whole thing. He's
Yeah.
all right. He's all right, but he doesn't bring, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 role.
Yeah.
How great was that, man?
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
I think you often bring about rain and stuff. I think fire really looks good in black and white at times.
Oh, it really does. It really does. I mean, I don't know. There's just something about it, but I love that. 50,000 cars a year stolen in Samoa. Like a million in Detroit. A million has 50,000. 50 million cars. Samoa, 50,000. All of them stolen.
Oh, nice shot. Now that sort of kind of hints back to Dawn when we had that scene.
Yeah.
some of the heavier hitting effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does really sort of call back to Night, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely.
This is oh, reaching down into the throat. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a hell of a scene. I mean, great effect too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Who'd have thought, making like a station wagon, like a zombie apocalypse car? Makes sense though. Okay, that was that was wonderfully dark humor right there. Had a little brother, he got bit. What happened to him? I shot him. Like you said, nothing bad ever happened to you. That happened to my brother. Just roll his ass out of the car.
I like how he just kind of stops the clock.
Yeah.
He can talk. Time must stop when he speaks.
Yep.
I was just looking at the trivia, and apparently they said the rumor was Dennis Hopper's cigar habit right there
Hmm.
cost more than the entire production of the original Night of the Living Dead.
I believe that. And I mean, since it was filmed in Canada, those are probably Cubans.
There we go. Let time go back. It is great. Wow, this is the first of his films to be released with an NPA rating.
Really? Wow, that's actually kind of surprising.
Okay, so did you know this? You remember earlier on when Cholo is grabbing the case of champagne out of the fridge when they're on that run?
Yeah.
That the zombie that lunges out of the fridge at him is actually supposed to be Bub from Day?
Really?
Right out of the trivia, man. Bub, the zombie from Day of the Dead, makes an appearance at the beginning of the movie when Cholo is taking the box of champagne from the fridge. It's Bub that lunges at him. You can see this collar still intact from the original Day of the Dead.
Huh. I
I,
always thought Bub showed up near the end, like walking around. I knew Bub was in it, but I always thought, yeah, I always thought he was just kind of walking around during that
see,
whole big attack scene.
I don't think I knew that. Oh, it's great. It's so great.
Oh man.
Oh. Oh, okay. So I always forget Snyder's remake came out a year before, and that
Oh yeah.
sort of helped. Now, see, this is some of my favorite imagery from the whole movie. I love the idea that ultimately they're gonna, Big Daddy's gonna get into his head that we can walk across this.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Romero said he had intended for an under the water scene, but
That would have been cool.
you know what detracted him? It's gonna kill you, man.
Zombie?
No, he had just seen Pirates of the Caribbean
Oh.
and didn't want to be seen copying.
It would have worked with zombies more so than.
It would have been a complete CGI effect, but
Yeah. It's funny because you can see like they're kind of worried about him.
okay. So apparently, when I love this when they come out like that. Oh, that is so cool. Almost sort of in an offbeat way harkens back to Shockwaves.
Mhm.
Yeah, this would be pretty terrifying, man, if you just happened to have been looking out a window and
And all these zombies are just kind of popping up and be like, oh shit. I wonder, do you suppose if zombies were walking around underwater, do you suppose fish would be trying to eat them?
Oh no.
fish and sharks and everything, you know?
All
I
I know,
mean,
man, is we got a zombie eating a shark.
yep.
Zombie.
Oh, I love that scene. That's like possibly the greatest scene ever filmed in any movie.
Yeah, to actually have a real diver working with a real shark.
Yeah.
And although I have heard there's scenes there where the shark being used was detoothed.
Yeah,
Heard that.
probably.
That seems kind of messed up. Think about.
Yeah. Well, you know, sharks constantly grow teeth, so
Well, that's true, I guess.
yeah. So it's probably not too big a deal for the shark as long as they didn't kill the shark afterwards, they'd grow back. Hmm.
So I forget. Cholo's whole thing is if he doesn't get his money he wants, he's gonna send rockets into Fiddler's Green.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna essentially nuke the place. They're not actually nukes, but you know.
Oh, apparently that guy there playing cards, his name tag said Rickles.
Oh,
There was a Rickles in Day of the Dead.
that's kind of cool.
No, use this. Oh,
The shadow shots are awesome.
yeah, that initial blood spray out of his arm isn't quite as cheesy and black and white as it is
Yeah.
color. That is a kind of scary thought, man. I mean, you're sitting there living in Fiddler's Green forever, just living in luxury, just thinking nothing will change, and then boom, not knowing how wrong it is.
Yeah.
Ah. Ooh. Dang. Isn't that guy who just came out of the room? Isn't he on one of the Spider-Man movies?
uh,
Sam Raimi's movies?
yeah, I think so.
He is. No, I don't think it is. I thought it was right. He kind of looks similar.
Ah.
I was looking. I'll tell you who wasn't Spider-Man though. The
Yeah.
first Raimi one. I
Yeah.
just saw this by accident. Robert Kerman. He played our Professor Harold guy at the Cannibal Holocaust.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Harold Monroe. Professor Harold Monroe. He was a tugboat captain in Spider-Man.
Nice.
Yeah, that was total by accident, but that is cool.
That is cool. And of course, we just had the Savini cameo.
Yeah, I missed it. Darn it.
Well, I don't think it's done yet. I think he comes back again. If I remember right.
He was doing a lot of acting right now.
Yeah.
I was wondering why he didn't take on the effects, um, but he had directed a short and he was acting a lot
Ah.
in this little window of time. And, Nightmare City, the Nightmare City project is still on IMDb.
Really?
I don't know if it's alive or dead, but same status as it was a couple years ago.
Well, that'd be cool if it
Uh,
eventually happens.
and then there was that breaking news of late, right, for an actual Demons 3
Yeah, by that
girl,
Greta, yeah.
but with Baba's name as producer.
That's pretty cool.
That would be cool, man. I would love to see that happen.
Yeah, like a proper, you know,
A
like
proper
sequel,
search.
not just like a sequel in name only. I mean, that's kind of the, I don't want to say problem with Italian films, but, you know, they have this tendency to.
Oh! Oh, I forgot about that, tearing that head off like that. That looked pretty sick, man. Black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Big Daddy is definitely at the top of the evolution chain.
Yeah, I think so.
He just put a zombie out of his own misery.
Yeah.
Weird.
Hmm.
Ah, need electricity, that guy. Yeah, I love it, man. They're all picking up weapons, man. It seems like the only character in here you're really really supposed to hate is the Dennis Hopper character.
I think so.
Because even Cholo, I mean, he's not. I mean, you kind of get. I mean, whether living in Fiddler's Green as a worthy aspiration, it's something he was going out putting his own life on the line to
Yeah.
achieve, and to be robbed of it. You kind of can't blame him for.
Yeah.
Um, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's pretty scary.
Oh yeah.
Yep, normal day living has come to an end.
Yep.
These zombies, it's funny. They seem to be a little bit more on the go than they were in the mall at on Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going after it.
Hmm.
See, it's almost kind of like, oh, I forgot about that. Oh,
Hmm.
belly ring.
Oh. Yeah.
It's like they almost seem to be more. It's about uh, taking down Fiddler's Green out of some kind of, you know,
Spite.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, they're not like, oh well, there's people to eat. This is about. It's almost like symbol. It's a symbol of something.
Yeah.
They want to take. Maybe that's some of the hidden Romero. He's kind of running for their life. I'd be climbing that fence in 2 seconds, man. You wouldn't be stopping me.
Mm.
Electric or not, I'd still be going over that thing. Look, funny story. My friend, when I was a kid,
Mm.
uh, he his house, he had a huge pasture that horses and stuff. Well,
Mm.
the neighboring property also shared the pasture, and so they had sort of barbed wire off, and they had cows and stuff.
Mm.
And my buddy though, they just had horses. But every once in a while, man, I don't know if the cows or what, man, they would just sort of work their way through the wire
Mm.
and sometimes end up on his side of the pasture. So one day, man, we were up on the high end of it near his house, and we were going out there to hit some golf clubs, or I mean, hit some golf balls, right? And so there's this cow way down the pasture, and so we were betting each other, which one of us might hit this cow with a golf ball. I don't know why, but on like his first try, man, I kid you not, man, he nailed the back end of this cow, man, right in the back end of its butt. And that I've never seen a cow look up so fast as this one looked up and looked right at us. And I'm like, and I kind of looked at Jeff, and he kind of looked at me, and we kind of looked back at the cow. Man, that cow is in a full force trot up the hill.
Oh man.
I'm telling you, man. Now his fence was on, but we both, out of instinct, turned, grabbed the fence, and lunged over. It was that quick, man. And yeah, I got shocked, but there was no way I was going to be stampeded by a cow.
Yeah.
That cow, man, he came almost all the way up to the top, and I think he just sort of realized we were, sort of, he wasn't going to be able to get us, so he stopped. But it was instinct, man.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me, man, you're going to tell me you got zombies that are chewing you up, and you're not just going to grab an electric fence and jump over?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hell, like they have stuff there also. Maybe like try to break the fence. I mean, I'm sure you could do it. You have like, bunch of people. I'm sure somebody has some kind of like hammer or something they could use.
Yeah, you guys got problems. Fireworks look kind of weird in black and white.
Yeah.
Not looking anymore. Yeah, these zombies definitely are Romero's most liveliest, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He used they couldn't get their hands on real birds, so they had mechanical ones. Now this scene between these two, this almost doesn't this almost call back Let Sleeping Corpses Lie?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
More so when Cholo shows up.
Yeah.
Doesn't Cholo show up here too?
Oh, yeah. I just love that. Come back here. You've got the keys.
Oh man.
I was kind of like, well, my job's done. I'll just walk on out of here.
Here we go. Should have given a spot in the Fiddler's Green.
Yeah, everything would have gone pretty much fine if you had. I love that Big Daddy was smart enough to, it's like, okay, well, I put gas down there. I might as well throw down like an explosive or something.
Yeah, he's not that further ahead than Bob, but he is a step or two definitely.
Hmm.
At that point, you're just putting people out of their misery.
Yep.
It's interesting how we end here with basically a group of stragglers,
Yeah.
both sides, people and zombies. It's funny. You could have had an I like this decision making here.
Hmm.
Just let them go. Could have actually made a movie after this. Just call it uh, Dead Reckoning.
Oh yeah, it would have been good.
Even as it's too bad he didn't think about the whole idea of a spin-off.
Yeah, I wonder if he did. And it just after his thoughts on this one, it was just kind of like, I'll go a different way.
I probably just for to have full a full franchise. I probably really need to get Diarrhea and Survival, but I've always
Yeah.
dragged my feet on that.
Yeah, Diary's not bad, but Survival is pretty bad.
Now, see, that's the one I think I've actually seen. Isn't there uh, two guys, two guys that are walking on a hilltop with the moon right behind them?
Yeah, I think so. And there's like, a zombie girl who like rides a zombie horse and
I think I probably caught that somewhere.
yeah, it's an odd one. Um, One thing I always find with Diary and Survival, more so with Diary, I like the idea of Diary, but I've seen it done better. And there's a movie called The Zombie Diaries, if you've ever seen it, and that takes the whole idea of essentially like you know filming beginnings of a zombie apocalypse and just kind of runs with it a bit better. Yeah. All in all, though, this was like one of the...
Look at that. KNBFX script, they do get credited.
Nice.
Even though I didn't see Berger's name, just Nick Katera on Kurtzman. So
Yeah,
that's cool. KNB did get credited for this.
That's cool. You can never go wrong with, you know, with a name like KNB. It just kind of works.
Boy, I see Mr. Hopper had a lot of assistants helping him through this movie. Holy crap, man.
Yeah. All in all, though, damn good movie. I mean, not the greatest in the series, but...
Yeah, and I wonder if how much of this is, you know, under the umbrella of a big studio versus had he done this, you know, independently.
Yeah, I think we would have had a very different movie if he'd, you know, essentially been able to do whatever he wanted.
It seems like the last time I heard his commentary on this, he didn't seem terribly disappointed in the final product, but one wonders.
Yeah, I can't help but think, you know, he like how it would have been if he'd been given complete, you know, control. I think we probably had a very different movie.
Oh, we always well. I mean, look. I mean, the first time Carpenter finally got the big studio treatment with creative control.
Yeah.
What happened, man? The thing. But
Yeah.
you know what, though? You know, just like the studios are afraid of, the thing did sort of pan out. But in the long run,
Mm.
you know, it's well. I mean, more people probably walk around talking about the thing today than they do about ET, and that came out the same year.
Yeah, I believe it.
And that's the thing with studios. See, you know, and I'm sure they probably. I mean, I'm sure they probably say this out loud. It's not, you know, enough to cause them to do what's right, but you got to figure. I mean, man, do we let this guy just, you know, kind of do his own thing? If he does, no one's going to go see this thing. No one's going to want. Well, yeah, people would go see it, but
Yeah.
um, just the idea of. I mean, who knows what it would have done theatrically had he had complete and absolute. But I'll tell you what, man. Right now, we would be probably talking, maybe, hopefully, talking about this movie in not so different of a way than we do um, Night or Dawn or Day.
I could see that. I really
Instead,
could.
you know, it's the step down, you know, from
Yeah, it's the lesser of the series. Yeah, I mean, think of it. It could have been, maybe it was just the wrong time. I mean, maybe had it been closer to when like The Walking Dead and everything ended up happening and the real like zombie resurgence. Maybe that would have been a better time for this movie.
or perhaps had he, you know, without taking the time now to go through his filmography in the '90s, but had he been able to pull one out in the '90s, I
Yeah,
wonder what that film is, comparably speaking, to the film we get in '05.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, it would have certainly been different. I know that because I mean, pretty much every one of his movies is always kind of different, isn't it? So, yeah, one in the 90s, that would have been interesting.
And we talked about this earlier, not to drag it out, but I mean, we have Hooper who's making his major comments, and Romero. Is there a third that? I was thinking about it, and I couldn't really come up with a name of someone who.
I can't really think of any other that has any real, like, quote-unquote, like, message type things. I can't really think of any.
And if they do, they're just their own film and not carried on. Just like Cooper's TCM2 and as crazy of a comment as that was on the 80s, I wonder what Hooper's comment on the 90s would have been.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But anyway, so I mean, yeah, it was. This was good in black and white.
It was. I mean, it takes away some of the. We've said before, about like the CG and how it takes away kind of the rawness of it, and that's something I definitely appreciate.
I think as much as that too, I think it also helps maybe a little bit with as different as a cast is with this one as we might have seen in the previous three films. I think seeing them in black and white, I think helps, almost sort of takes the edge off of them in a little bit of a different way than say how it takes the edge off of bad CGI.
Yeah.
Not that their acting was bad necessarily. I guess maybe some could say it was or not or whatever, but just the idea that we're talking about a film that was casted by a big studio rather than independently casted.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
There is.
Who would have been in this film had he been done this independently versus who ends up being in the film? Well, Dennis Hopper probably is in his film if it's in his deal.
That's one thing I've always found, like with George Romero's casting, like when you let him do it himself, he casts people who aren't necessarily known, but they're always good actors. And a lot of people, I get the feeling, I want to say almost like became big actors because of, being in a Romero film. Like you look at someone like, what's his name, like Ken Faree.
Yeah.
He was, I don't think anyone knew who he was really before Dawn of the Dead. But then, you get him in there and I don't know.
Well, you want to take us home?
Yeah. So, everyone, that was episode 14. 14 or 13? 14. Yeah, for Land of the Dead. One of the overlooked entries in the series of the Living Dead films, but maybe one worth revisiting for people. Is what it is, right?
Yeah. But it was definitely enjoyable for sure.
Hell yeah.